Folks, my name is David Bacon, and I am pleased to be your interviewer here today, your host for another in a great series of the Leadership Spotlight series. Today I'm joined by my friend Mike Baselli. I met Mike a couple years ago when he was building a company at that time named Med Passage. And so for me, to get to know Mike over these couple years and see how he has transformed and contributed to this community has been a real blessing, and I'm proud to be on the stage with him now. So can we welcome Mr. Baselli, please? Thank you. Yes.
Thank you.
A hero's welcome. Yes.
It's Friday. We made it, huh?
Yeah, we
We're
made
here.
it. Pitter
All
patter.
right.
I know. It's Denver startup, get me as
Wow.
exhausted as possible week. I mentioned we're going to talk about a bunch of things here. And for everyone in the audience who's either listening in the future when you watch this on YouTube or for here now, I want you to consider that this is freeze frame this moment. Because when we're talking about digital health in this community, what you may or may not know now, you soon are going to learn a lot more as the digital health transformation really starts to envelope Denver and Colorado. Because I promise you, not just 5 or 10 years, but within 1 year, 2 years, next week, this week, we have some incredible announcements, some extraordinary things going on. I am getting goosebumps just literally talking about it, and because it is that good for our community. So consider that freeze frame moment here of listening to what Mike has to say, because he is one of the foremost leaders in this revolution. And flash forward and remember this time, okay? So Mike's a serial entrepreneur to begin with. So before we talk about all things digital health, it'll help us to get that context of you and with Med Passage. Tell us about that.
Thanks, Dave, and thanks for everything you guys are doing. Of course, thank you for everyone for being here today. Thank you to Denver Startup Week, Eric Matisik, Tammy Dorr. We can go on and on and on.
Totally.
An incredible week. Yep. 50+ million impressions now on social media across the country.
Wow.
Just unbelievable work.
Oh my gosh.
So,
yes,
incredible.
yes, bravo.
Yeah. So I've been in healthcare for about 14 years now. After hanging up the collegiate and professional football cleats, I got pulled into the medical device world. A recruiter had called me and said, "Hey, are you interested in the medical device industry?" I said, "I don't know much about it." He said, "Well, here's the financial package." I said, "I'm now very interested."
Yeah.
And so from that point, I jumped into it. I did everything from sales, business development, consulting, surgeon education, and marketing. And in about 2011, with the Affordable Care Act coming online, my then co-founder, Gavin Fabian, and I launched a company called Med Passage. Yep. As we're trying to reduce costs in events of healthcare, we saw that the procurement of medical devices, those costs could be reduced by taking out the middleman, the sales rep, for basic and generic implants when they're not offering any clinical efficacy in the healthcare environment. So at a high level, we built the Amazon for the medical device generic implant space. We sold that company in December of 2013.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And really what happened after that has just been magical. I went down to Mexico for a couple weeks in January to get the bearings back in order. And when I came back, I had a phone call waiting for me for one of our leaders in the community, Jeffrey Nathanson. And Jeffrey has been integral in our work with the Prime Health Collaborative, founded by Jake Rashavi, who is out of the South Denver Economic Development Office. And Jeffrey had called me. And he said, "I need your help. I've gotten a call from Jake Rashavi and Prime Health Collaborative that we need to take that collaborative across the state because we were just ranked 6th in the country as a top 10 digital health ecosystem by Rock Health." And we said, why couldn't we take this to the top? Yeah. And so through that work and through Jeffrey's hard work and everybody on the team, we started a cluster analysis as well, trying to figure out how many companies are in the ecosystem, where do they lie, what do they offer? And as of this morning, we have identified what we believe is the 107th digital health startup in the state of Colorado. It's unbelievable.
That's awesome.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Bravo. Yeah.
And so through that work, Dave, being able to work with the Prime Health Collaborative and trying to take this across the state, bore out of that was an opportunity with industry.
Wow. Yeah. And I have an office at Industry, and it's amazing to be there. Mike is a partner at Industry as well. To have an office in a space where the eyes of literally the country, if not the world, are on us. And that reflects also on the future of digital health here, because Industry hosted the Digital Health Challenge. It was one of the major events of this week, and if you guys hadn't heard about it, no one better than Mr. Baselli to share it, but there were 400 plus attendees, payers and providers alike, medical providers, payers, together on one stage evaluating Denver and Colorado-based startups, up to 107 now that they've verified. And this is really significant. And I think, Mike, can you elaborate on why that's significant, that discerning group of people had their eyeballs on our community and these aggressive startups?
Let's talk about that 107 first, and then that'll dovetail into the digital health challenge we had Wednesday night. Jeffrey Nathanson, again, you'll hear this name, and Jake Rashavi through this whole conversation. Jeffrey Nathanson took the cluster analysis for our community to Google Ventures when we were at about 65 identified companies. And they said, holy cow, this is a really burgeoning ecosystem. Get the message out. We got to let people know what's happening in Colorado.
Yeah.
That was at 65.
And no one had done that yet.
No, and that was at 65, and we have yet to close this cluster analysis because of these continuing to find more and more companies.
Can you tell our audience what the cluster, what is comprised in this cluster analysis?
So cluster analysis is to identify how much money has been raised from these types of companies. Right. What types of companies are they? What types of threads within digital health, because digital health is a large umbrella.
Huge.
Telehealth, wearable tech,
yep.
And a large enterprise, SaaS platforms. It's a large umbrella, but where do those companies fall within that umbrella? So we're identifying and mapping all of that out, and again, identifying what we believe is 107th this morning. Yep. And so why was Wednesday night so important, not just for Colorado, but truly for digital health and for what we're trying to achieve to fundamentally change healthcare in this country? Here is why it was so unique. We believe it's the first time in the digital health industry that payers, providers, third-party administrators came together from various organizations as judges during this Shark Tank event to evaluate our top 6 vetted companies in the Colorado digital health ecosystem. And people were collaborating and partnering for pilot opportunities and using $100,000 from the Colorado Health Foundation to seed these pilot opportunities. One of the holy grails for digital health is access to the clinical environment. We effectively did that in front of 400 people, the mayor, incredible venture capitalists in the community or in the audience. It was an unbelievable night, and a night I don't think that any of us are going to soon forget.
Yeah, no, it was a defining moment for Denver Startup Week. This being the 3rd year of Denver Startup Week, I found personally that the legitimacy, the level of execution with events and with how things are unfolding, the revelry is behind us, the execution is ahead of us, right? And so, and we talk about as entrepreneurs a lot, these defining moments that we have as individuals. But this was really a defining moment for Denver Startup Week, but also for digital health. So so take us on that path of future forward. What's coming up next? Are there other announcements that maybe have come as soon as even this week or as even today, perhaps?
Yeah, I'll unpack that in just a moment. I want to make sure also that everybody knows that even the week before Denver Startup Week, we had another track for this overall Colorado Digital Health Challenge, and you can find the hashtag to follow everything we've done at CO Digital Health Challenge. The week before, we had a financing track, again, with money seeded from the Colorado Health Foundation. We gave away $50,000 in cash for these startups to continue to grow their companies. And it was a panelists of all venture capitalists from around the country that came in, used the valid evaluation technology, another Denver-based startup, to vet these companies and give away this cash. So that was the week before. Yep. Then this week, I think we've had a digital health event every single day of the week during Denver Startup Week. But now we're starting to hear some national mention. Yep. A few days ago, Michael Palmer, the CEO of innovation for Aetna, was interviewed by the Fierce Health Medical Journal. And he said because of their deep investment in iTriage, they are now looking to make Denver, Colorado, the epicenter for digital consumer experience for all of Aetna. That's going to be massive for what we're trying to do and what we're trying to achieve as a #1 digital health cluster in the country in the next 5 years. It's big. It's big.
It's significant.
So actually, you guys in the audience, you can help out. Please find Michael Palmer on Twitter at by Michael Palmer. Let him know we need him here, and hashtag it at CO Digital Health. We want to let them know we want them here, and we can't wait to have them.
I know light bulbs are going off with the audience in terms of what does this mean for our community and for our state. But hearing it from you, jobs, recognition, science, commercial real estate. This is huge for us this momentum. Can you elaborate on some of that?
Yeah, so in regards to me becoming a partner with the industry team,
Yep.
I've been brought on for the next project. And some of you guys may have heard the next project is called Stride. It's the next step in health tech innovation. If some of you guys have been to industry, you guys can understand contextually how we build and what we do
Right.
for what we do. We're going to take that methodology and we're going to apply it to the health tech innovation vertical. And so we're going to have digital health companies, large providers, large payers, startups, growth companies to large Fortune 50 type healthcare companies.
All under one roof.
All under one roof,
Yeah.
7 blocks away from the current industry project. We look at collaboration between that ecosystem and Stride.
Yeah.
And Stride is going to be the first building on this campus that we're very excited to build.
That's a big, big deal. As we continue this great chat, do we have any burning questions from the audience? Anyone want to contribute any thoughts or ideas or impressions right out of the gate? Yes, sir. Hold on, I'm going to give you the mic so that this is recorded on our channel. Or we've got Katie. We'll be delivering your mic.
Can you just tell us a little more about Stride? Like, how big is it? How many companies are, what is that going to be like?
We anticipate phase 1 being approximately 115,000 square feet of office space under one roof. That is going to be breaking ground in probably December of this year, with that phase 1 opening in Q3 of 2015. Again, looking at probably 400 plus jobs under that roof alone. And then, of course, we have rights to an entire city block as we look to continue to further phase and build out that campus.
Significant. Yeah, so again, flash forward this time next year, it's going to be open.
Yeah, we're excited. I mean, we're starting to receive phone calls and interest from international companies, not only across this country. I think we just pulled a company out of Chicago that's going to move here next year because of this movement. I've been talking to companies in Canada. We're looking at a partnership with the country of Ireland, specifically Dublin. What if you're a Dublin digital health startup and you need an American experience?
Yeah.
Come over and get your technology into the Denver ecosystem, and vice versa. If our startups want to get into the European healthcare market, Dublin might be a great place to first land. We're still working that out, and it's looking very strong. We're also on the ground level here looking at creating a partnership with the University of Colorado Health System, so our digital health startups have a quick entry into the clinical setting. Again, as I said earlier, that really is the holy grail for these startups, getting into that clinical access, and we're going to help solve for that.
Yeah, access, right? Yeah. Access, validate their ideas and their products. You have such a unique vision with respect to MedPassage, and here you just mentioned, as of this morning, it was your 107th startup here in Colorado that you guys have verified. There must be so many unique ideas that you're exposed to in this giant umbrella. Can you share some of those? And it's limitless, right?
Oh, it's unbelievable. One that is going to really also help our national reach, one company and one movement I'm extremely excited about, and the industry and Stride team is extremely humbled in being able to partner with, is 10-10-10 and everything that Tom Higley and his movement is creating.
Sure.
If you guys don't know about 10-10-10, now is the time. Check them out at 101010denver.com. Learn more about what we're going to do in February of 2015. 10 wicked problems, 10 days in Denver with 10 prospective CEOs, 100% dedicated to healthcare. Those are some of the things that are bubbling up in our community, Dave, that are going to give us national exposure. Tom Higley is an incredible leader in our community, and to have him on board and helping us solve and propel us as a community here in healthcare is incredible.
Yeah, I was walking over here thinking about the complexity of the human body, our brains, the physicality of our bodies, and just how complex they are. And then you think about healthcare and just how complex solving healthcare problems are. Notably speaking, the Affordable Health Care Act, controversial, but addressing something that's so significant. That complexity is a beautiful thing in terms of the opportunity for entrepreneurs and ideas and people to actually help. Do you see that a lot of the entrepreneurs that are coming to you and that you're vetting out have a connection with what they're doing? I mean, it would seem to me that would be just embedded in who they are and what they represent.
It's incredible, the passion and the determination that these entrepreneurs that we're being able to closely work alongside. It's incredible how wired these folks are for healthcare and their passion for changing the space. I'll also say, some of the things that are happening in our community to give those entrepreneurs opportunity is the Prime Health Collaborative, as I mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
but a specific program in there called Prime Source, bringing those digital health startups right to the executives of HCA-type hospitals, Centura-type hospitals, Catholic Health Initiative-type hospitals, giving those opportunities to the startups to sit down with those decision makers. That's how we're going to get to the next level here in Colorado. It's incredible work.
Yeah, and I think that's super indicative of the spirit and the optimism of Denver, is that that level of support that is within arm's reach for all of us. And it's one reason Denver Startup Week is so successful. What other questions do we have from the audience? Any other questions? Okay. We've got a few more minutes here. So let's see. Do we hit the Affordable Care Act at all? Is there anything that's that stems down from that? I mean, I heard about it just in the news today, and again, it's that complexity of things that creates opportunities.
I think the Affordable Care Act has been a massive blessing. It is mandating change. It is forcing us to rethink and retool what's happening in healthcare at large.
Yeah.
And that change and those mandates is really helping fuel and bolster what's happening here in Colorado. It is unbelievable the energy that we have across the state and what's happening, and the Affordable Care Act allowing for some of these technologies to be looked at and evaluated to fundamentally change healthcare. And we're going to do it, and our goal is to do it right here in Colorado and be a leader across the entire country.
We just talked about how Denver and how Colorado has this sort of natural, it's like our DNA is to support each other and entrepreneurs and ideas, giving them access, things like that. Do you also think that because digital health here we were ranked number 6 in the country while seemingly barely lifting a finger, like things just sort of arose. What do you attest that to? Do you attest it to our pursuit of wellness, to our sunshine, to the mountains? Well, certainly our state is recognized for being healthy, if you will. So is it natural that we have such a strong future ahead of us with digital health, that we care about our bodies?
Well, one actually a good case study on that is recently a gentleman that I met by the name of Talis. Talis runs a startup called Basecamp. They were based out of the Bay Area. He said, I can no longer operate my company out of here. It's too hard. He said, but where should I take my company?
Yeah.
He went and found one of the healthiest states in the country, and that happens to be Colorado. He brought his company to Boulder. Those types of things are happening more and more and more. Great place to live. You can still afford an apartment or a house in the downtown corridor. Some of the things happening with Prime Health Collaborative. Health 2.0 has 2 chapters here now. Innovation Pavilion in South Denver. Rocky Mountain Innosphere in Fort Collins. Impact Hub in our collaboration with Prime Health in Boulder. The community is on fire. We're actually going to look for presence with Prime Health down in Durango, Grand Junction, Colorado Springs, maybe even in the mountains. There's a new co-working space in Breckenridge. We want to coalesce the entire state for the movement of becoming, or with the movement happening, with the singular focus of becoming the top digital health cluster in the country in the next 5 years. I think we can do it.
Does that involve? I think you can too. Yeah. Nobody better. Sincerely. How much collaboration does that involve with some of the universities?
Yeah, great question. So we, Jeffrey and Jake and the team have been meeting with Metro State, DU, University of Colorado Health System, CU Boulder. We all of the academic institutions involved in this. I think, as we're wrapping up here, I think we have to remember the DNA in the Colorado entrepreneur is very collaborative, very giving in nature.
Yeah.
Let's leverage that.
Yeah.
Let's use that to our advantage. We're not a San Francisco or a Boston, New York in regards to numbers density, but in regards to each specific person, we do bring a lot to the table. And if we want to be that number one, which I know we can, all of us in the same community have to come together, grab the same exact rope, and pull at the same exact time. And when we do that, we will be number one.
Yeah, no, super well said. So, Mike, I just want to acknowledge you and your entire team and just recognize that, like with any startup, it takes incredible resolve to pursue something this ambitious, this significant. And I know you lose a lot of sleep about it, and I know you tirelessly are advocating this to our community. And I am grateful to be sitting here on stage with you, and I hope the rest of you guys are as well.
Well, thank you so much, Dave. It's a pleasure. Thank you.